Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya and this is Maiyaimanii Reads. I just got that pack in, and by pack I mean a new book. I just got People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. If you have been into reading for a while, I'm sure you've heard of this book or at least this author. And if you're not new here, you probably have heard me say that I don't read a lot of popular books. I also don't read a lot of romance, but the other day I was scrolling on Netflix and I saw that Netflix did an adaptation of People We Meet on Vacation, and I did want to watch it. Actually, I wanted to watch it, but I said before I watch it, I kind of want to read the book. I don't know why, but I'm definitely more read the book then watch the movie, before I watch the movie then read the book type of person. So I just thought it'd be fun to read this with you guys, then we watch the movie and we talk about it. You know, looks like this came out in 2021. It's 2026, so 5 years ago, and I'm just not reading it, but that's okay. So yeah, you've probably seen so many videos about this book, but here's another one. Here's another one for you to watch. If you don't already watch 5, what's 6? What's another video? Yeah, like I said, I literally just got this book and it just got delivered to the house. I've not started reading it yet, and it's the work day. It's lunchtime, so I won't start reading it until later this evening. But I wanted to go ahead and kick off this video with y'all, kick off this vlog. I'm so excited to be reading this book with y'all. I am going into this pretty blind. I don't really know what this book is about. I know that I'm assuming it's romance. Two people, I guess they met on vacation. I don't know. I don't want to read the synopsis. I do not want to read the synopsis. I literally want to go in blind because I feel like that's more fun. So yeah, this will also be my first Emily Henry read. We're gonna see what Miss Emily is talking about and why everybody is talking about her in her books. It's Friday. We just wrapped up the work week and the work day. I am currently on page 66 in People We Meet on Vacation, and I do have some thoughts so far. I'm looking at my phone because I have notes on my phone. Y'all know I have a reading journal, but honestly sometimes I don't feel like writing. So to continue to keep track of my thoughts while I'm reading, I'll just like create a whole notes in my phone and put thoughts there. When the book first started, I felt like the writing was very descriptive, which I tend to appreciate in books. I feel like that writing style just kind of helps transport you to the book. And when we first start reading the book, the main woman character, Poppy, she's on vacation. So to have that description while she was on vacation was just really nice, because here, baby, they talking about an ice storm outside. I want to be somewhere warm right now. So yeah, I liked that. But then very soon after, I felt like the writing wasn't necessarily connecting with me. It feels a little like sometimes Emily Henry be using big words, or like all these words in a sentence just to use big words. Let's see if I can find an example. She was doing it a lot early on, and a lot of her sentences were just so long, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why does this have to be, why does this sentence have to be this long? Or maybe I feel like I can't find it now. Maybe not even necessarily. No, if I wrote it, then that means there was certain sentences specifically that I was referring to. So I'm gonna stand by that. Like I said, sometimes I feel like her word choices just feel thrown in there. They don't necessarily feel natural, which I kind of don't really care for that. I literally wrote, this seems like writing I would have enjoyed in high school. Like, y'all, this made me think of Fault in Our Stars. I think it's because Fault in Our Stars came out when the movie came out when I was in high school. The book may have came out when I was in high school too, but the movie for sure came out when I was in high school. And just sometimes this writing so far, it has felt a little juvenile. I will say though that it's pretty easy to read. It doesn't require much brain power, and I do think that I am interested in the overall plot. Like I mentioned, the main woman character, her name is Poppy, and then there's a main guy character, his name is Alex. From what I've already gathered in these 66 pages, this is a friends to lover trope. Poppy and Alex are starting off as friends. They've been friends for a couple years now. They met in college, but something happened between them, and so 2 years passed and they like have not spoken to each other. While they were friends, they would go on summer trips, summer vacations with each other every single summer. That was just like their tradition. At least from what I've seen so far, like nothing ever happened between them. They never had a thing. Literally, they were just platonic friends. Poppy reaches out to Alex and they are sort of like rekindling their friendship. Poppy works for like a travel magazine. Part of her job, she gets sent on trips because she has to write, I guess, magazines or blog posts, whatever, on different destinations. And so she got her job to send her on a trip to Palm Springs, California, because Alex's brother was having a wedding in Palm Springs. And so they're gonna meet up for the first time in 2 years at his brother's wedding. So I wonder if the rest of the book is gonna be set in Palm Springs. It's kind of interesting. The book goes back and forth between like current times, and it'll be like 5 summers ago, 3 summers ago, so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep reading and I'm going to finish it. Like I said, it's a pretty easy read. After I make dinner and stuff tonight, I feel like I definitely can get a good amount of reading in. I think another reason I don't really care for Friends to Lovers, at least in this book specifically so far, is in this it seems so unrealistic. It just seems very unbelievable that, at least from Poppy's POV, she never had any feelings or anything toward Alex. Because let me read this to you. As he closes the gap between us, he drops his carry-on bag behind him and pulls me into a hug. And it's normal, so natural to push up on my tiptoes and wrap my arms around his waist, bury my face into his chest and breathe him in. Cedar, musk, lime. There is no greater creature of habit than Alex Nielsen. Same cleanly warm scent, same basic wardrobe, though enhanced a little over time with better tailoring and shoes. Same way of squeezing me around the upper back and drawing me in and up against him when we hug, almost pulling me off the ground, but never tightening so much that the enhanced could be considered bone crunching. That just sounds like an experience someone would describe for a person that they are romantically attracted to. I just find it very hard to believe that this romance is going to catch the both of them off guard, or that it's gonna catch Poppy off guard. Maybe Alex, I've thought this, like, okay, maybe Alex has been feeling her and she was the one that was like totally oblivious, but I just find it so hard to believe. Maybe it's just me. We're on page 146 of People We Meet on Vacation. Yeah, 146. Remember, I was telling y'all yesterday, I felt like Friends to Lovers can be a little unrealistic to me, at least in this read, because it feels like I'm being gaslit. Because I'm just like, there's no way that neither of y'all feel any type of connection to each other. In this book specifically, like Poppy, there's no way you don't feel no type of connection to Alex. Alex, it's no way you don't feel any type of connection to Poppy. I just want to say that I feel less gaslit and validated, because there have been instances of Poppy being like, oh, sometimes I do think about a 5% chance, like a what if I were to kiss Alex, or what if we were to date. In present day, because remember I said that the book goes back to like 10 summers ago, 8 summers ago, blah blah blah, but it also does present day, and they're on vacation together. They've had moments and Poppy will be like, in this moment I want to kiss him. Why is this happening? I've never felt this way, but it's just like a second and then it goes away. I just really appreciate that, because like I said earlier, I'm just like, how is this realistic? This is not realistic. But now I feel like for her to be like, oh, I do sometimes think about it, I'm like, okay, that's more realistic. Now we're being honest. So according to Goodreads, page 146 means that I am 40% through. I wonder if I could finish this tonight. It's currently like 4:30. We're iced / snowed in, so won't be leaving the house for today, tomorrow, probably the next day either. So yeah, I wonder if I could finish this tonight. We'll see. I'm on page like 303, 302. So much has literally happened I mean, it wasn't anything that we weren't expecting, but just so much has happened since I last talked to y'all. Alex and Poppy ended up having spicy time, of course, of freaking course. And from what it seems, I'm not 100% sure just yet, but from what it seems, the reason they stopped talking 2 years ago on that one summer trip is because the same thing happened. So they had spicy time on that trip, they stopped talking for 2 years. So I'm like, let's be so for real. Y'all knew that was gonna happen on this trip too. You haven't talked in 2 years. You haven't talked in 2 years. You haven't seen this person in 2 years. Y'all decided to go on a trip together after not speaking or seeing each other for 2 years. What did you think was gonna happen? And Alex even said that. Alex literally said like something along the lines of like that was inevitable. So I kind of feel a little like this has just been a waste of time. It's just been a waste of time because we knew it was gonna happen. I actually do not like spice in books like whatsoever. So with this spice scene in particular, it was, first of all, it was like 3 or 4 pages. So I'm over here reading like trying to just skip, because the thing with this particular spice scene is, or this book in general, is that there's so much dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of Alex and Poppy talking. So even in the spice scene, it seemed like there was some dialogue happening, or like Poppy having these thoughts. So for me, when spice come up in a book, I just skip it. But I'm like trying to skip, but also I'm like, it seems like there's important things that may be happening, but also I just can't read this. I don't want to read it. I would just try to like go through real quick and pick out words, see if there was anything that I needed from the scene. So far, there's only been that one. There was another scene, but it just kind of faded out to black, and you know, nothing. It was nothing. I have about 60 more pages to go, and I'm really excited to finish this today and to watch the movie. It's a gloomy day, of course, with this ice snow storm, so it's just kind of a perfect day to sit back and like watch a little Netflix movie. Oh, and then remember how I said I wonder if the rest of the book they would be in Palm Springs for Alex's brother's wedding? Yes, they have been in Palm Springs ever since then. Like I had mentioned earlier, the book will flash back to a previous time, a previous trip, but the current time has been set in Palm Springs ever since, and it's just been walking us through Alex and Poppy's time during this summer trip. And yeah, I mean, this whole time that they've been friends, they pretty much been feeling each other. Like, it kind of, again, I feel validated because it was going back to previous trips and stuff, and even in the current day, the present trip, Alex and Poppy were both like kind of confessing their love for each other, and pretty much like, it's always been you, it's always been you, you know. I'm a bit conflicted because I don't know. I feel like it's different reading a romance book where the two characters are like just meeting and you're seeing their love unfold before your eyes. But with friends to lovers, again, I'm just like, y'all always been feeling each other. Like, we always knew this was, we knew this was gonna happen. So why am I reading this? That's kind of how I've been feeling. I'm not mad at it, but I do feel a little like, okay, like with the spicy scene, I feel like that was supposed to be the climax of the book, and you know, I feel like I was supposed to be like, oh my gosh, but I was just kind of like, knew that was coming. Like, we have finished People We Meet on Vacation. My initial reaction and initial rating is a 3-star. It was cool. I'm not mad that I read it, but I also am not sure that I necessarily want to read more by Emily Henry. I don't feel like this like knocked my socks off. I do feel like all my little questions were answered. Remember how I was saying it seemed like they maybe had spicy time on that one trip that they had 2 years ago? They didn't actually have spicy time. They just had like a make-out session, and that's the reason that they stopped talking for 2 years, because it was like, oh, this means things are different. And they were also like drunk when it happened. So yeah, it was just kind of like, this means things are different for us. So that's why they stopped talking for 2 years. Another question I had was, Poppy lied to Alex the whole trip, the whole Palm Springs trip, because he was under the impression that her job paid for her to go on this trip because her job did that. Her job would send her, again, she works for a travel magazine, so her job would send her to different destinations and pay for everything. But she took this vacation on her own. She took PTO, and so she was paying for it out of pocket. So towards the end of the book, I was like, wait, when is that gonna come up? It did come up, question answered. My husband and I are going to watch the Netflix movie together, so I'm interested to see what I think of that in comparison to the book. All I know is in a movie, I need them to play I Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos, because that song was mentioned twice in this book and I love that song, so I love that it was mentioned. So I need them to play it in the movie. If they don't, I'll be a little disappointed. I feel like that's my only requirement of this film. We finished the movie People We Watch on Vacation, and I have notes. They didn't include the song. They did not include I Only Have Eyes for You. And I told my husband that I was disappointed that they didn't include it, but he was like, well, you know, maybe they couldn't get the permissions to use the song in the movie. And I was like, okay, fair. But I still was disappointed because I wanted to hear the song. I said that they mentioned it twice in the book, but I actually believe they mentioned it like 3 times in the book. So I'm like expecting to hear that song in the movie. The whole time I'm like, the movie was not completely different from the book, but it was very different from the book. Like the producers, directors, whatever, definitely took creative freedoms with the movie, which I get because it's a movie. So you want to make this book fit for the screen. You want to make the storyline fit for the screen. I want to say that the movie had me chuckling. It also had my husband laughing a little too. The movie was funny. Like I laughed more at the movie than I did the book. I don't know the actress's name, but the actress that played Poppy, I feel like she did an amazing job. I loved her. She was very funny to me and very witty. The actor that played Alex, he did great too. David's wedding in the movie was not in Palm Springs. It was in Barcelona, Spain, which I was like, what the heck? That was definitely a major difference, but again with that I was like I feel like that makes for a better movie. They kind of totally took a different route with the whole Alex lying situation thing in the movie. Like in the movie she didn't lie because her job did cover her stay. Like her job was cool with her going to Barcelona, so that kind of wasn't even like a thing in the movie, which I thought was really interesting. The spicy scene in the movie. So just like I don't like reading spicy scenes in books, I also don't like watching spicy scenes on TV. So normally when spicy scenes come up, click, I just fast forward and skip through. This spicy scene was so, I feel, for today's time, it was very tasteful. I didn't even have a chance to fast forward it because it kind of was just like a fade to black type of scene. They were in bed and you could tell that they were naked, but it was just that and just kind of like fade to black, which I appreciate it. As a girl who don't really like spice, I appreciated that. Yeah, this was an interesting experience to read People We Meet on Vacation and then to watch the Netflix adaptation. I feel like because I didn't necessarily love the book, I also wasn't in love with the movie. But if someone were to ask me, would you rather reread the book or rewatch the movie? I would say I'd rather rewatch the movie. And either way, I had fun hanging out with you guys and going through this journey of my first Emily Henry experience with you guys. Let me know if you read People We Meet on Vacation, or if you watched the adaptation, or if you've read anything else by Emily Henry and what you thought. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.